Hey, everybody, and welcome back to our little mini series here on what is sabbatical. The first step is, and the most important step, is increased intimacy with God. When we went to mission school, we learned a lot about this. We actually started our mission school with like a 3-day silent retreat. Oh, it wasn't a completely silent, but we learned about silence and solitude. We learned about self-care. We learned about how to connect with God on a deeper level. And a lot of those habits we have maintained over time, thankfully. Things like, making sure we're getting proper rest, self-care, exercise, diet, quiet time with God, meditating in scripture, deeper ways of praying, all that kind of stuff. But over time, it really easily just becomes rote, and you have to constantly work at it in order to discover new ways to connect with God or different ways to connect with God that might have, become stale. It happens in any relationship, really, marriage, friendships, stuff like that. And so this is going to be an increased time of intimacy with God. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm starting with a 3-day silent retreat. And I have no idea what it's going to entail. I've always wanted to do one, and I finally have the opportunity to do so. Originally, when I learned about them, I learned that a silent retreat sometimes is done in a monastery, and you go and you live in a monastery where they're silent most of the time, and the bell is rung for meals, and you sit in your room or you walk the grounds, and you just be with God the whole time. Sounds heavenly, doesn't it? Well, I haven't been able to find a monastery close to us that I could go to. So instead, I'm actually going to a place called Camp Hebron, which is a Christian camp just north of Harrisburg in Halifax. I've been there a few times. And the cool thing is that they offer twice a year, 2 nights a week, to pastors and people in full-time ministry to stay there for free in one of their cabins, which is really cool. So I'm actually staying for 3 nights, so I'm going to be paying for 1 night. But every time I've been up there, I've had very little interaction with anybody, and I don't have to interact with anybody if I don't want to. Also, the internet signal is horrible, and so there's even times where Misty and I, we couldn't even call each other to pray on the phone because there just wasn't signal. So this is going to be a really good time. I'm going to be going up there with my Bible, my journal, and just spending time alone with God for 3 days straight. It's going to be intense because it's going to take time for all of the input from emails and phone calls and notifications on my phone and this and that and things pulling at me. Right now, my cat is circling around my feet, just all this extra stimulation that really drowns out the voice of God. And so the whole point of the silent retreat is to be able to learn to hear from God and to put myself in a position where He's the only one I'm listening to. I'm also going to be, over the course of the 4 weeks, reading 4 separate books, and my mentor guided me in that, and he made some suggestions, and so I've got 4 books picked out, and maybe when I am doing my daily video blog, I will share what I'm reading and what I'm getting out of it. But the whole point of this is just to grow closer to God and to be able to hear from Him, so I could be at a place for the rest of the process of the next few weeks, which you're going to hear all about. So if you're wondering how I'm releasing these, I'm actually releasing them at the beginning of each week that I'm going to be taking sabbatical. And so you will know what I'm going through that very week, and you will know how to pray for me during those times. So thanks again for joining me on this journey in the way that you can, which is prayer and learning more about it. And look forward to talking to you next week.